All right, who else just got done watching Trump speak at the Bitcoin conference? That was probably the most bullish thing I've ever heard when it comes to cryptocurrency. I had always said on this channel, while I do think we are probably going into a Great Depression and Bitcoin could potentially go under those 12K targets that everyone was praying for in the bear market, that if Bitcoin were to truly play out what it was meant to do as a risk-off reserve asset for the world, that is your case to have an actual super cycle and your $1 million price point per Bitcoin. And if Trump gets elected, he's made it pretty clear that will be one of his goals. But I do want to caution you guys not to get too euphoric, not to think this means we're instantly going to $1 million and that a lot of it is already priced in. RFK yesterday said they would plan to buy around 1 million Bitcoin as a reserve asset, which is less than a tenth of what they have into gold. So if you were to extrapolate that out and say that fair value becomes a 1/10 the market cap of gold for Bitcoin, well, it's already past that. It's already a little bit over a tenth of the market cap. Gold's at almost a $14 trillion market cap. Bitcoin's at almost a $1.5 trillion market cap. So I think a lot of this is priced in, and with unemployment rates where they're at historically when the Fed does cut, these do mark tops in the market, and my overall market thesis remains the same. But maybe in a recessionary environment, instead of Bitcoin going under $12,000, it would actually correlate more with gold. And in that scenario, we should hold above $30,000, but I still do believe the top comes in later on this year. On that Wyckoff updraft after distribution, I think is still a big possibility, and then maybe just a smaller, shallower correction that does play out similar to when gold had its ETF launches. If you look at that chart, it rallied up initially and then kind of fell off for a couple of years before the actual super cycle took place, and I do believe it could be very similar when it comes to Bitcoin. Maybe we have all this euphoria and speculation this year that gets distributed into, we then fall off into a recessionary environment, everybody panic sells the lows around $40,000 to $30,000, and then that's where Bitcoin goes on to this true super cycle where it gets heavily adopted throughout the next decade or so, and maybe in 10 years is where you could see that $1 million plus per Bitcoin. So those are just kind of my thoughts on the market after listening to that speech. If you haven't watched it, definitely recommend going ahead and checking that out. Trump live at the Bitcoin conference. And then once again today, we got some interesting stuff going on in the charts, such as these market maker sell walls. We had talked about this in yesterday's video. Throughout this range here, price held the higher lows. It did not shift bearish on the macro, so that's why I didn't take a short or anything like that. We had talked about the sweep level above these highs, and as you can see, over here on TradingView, this definitely did get swept on our higher term time frames. Going over to, I think it's going to be, like the 12-hour chart, you can see a sweep structure through this, a wick back below after rejecting this volume level pretty pixel perfectly, now under volume and the liquidity level that we had been talking about. So this could signal more of a macro bearish move. Nothing crazy, potentially it's already played out, right? We had a big dump during the speech. It was like FOMC day, lots of volatility on the chart, was pretty fun to watch. So maybe this sweep structure has already played out and we just kind of go up from here, and I would say that's structurally the most likely thing to happen, but it would be cautious, just wouldn't be fumbling in right now because we still have this CME gap. So this is also a very likely place if Bitcoin is not able to reclaim this, right? We'll be watching this level. If Bitcoin can reclaim this back tested to support, yeah, we're probably going to all-time highs next, but this is very likely as well. Let's go fill that CME gap before the continuation on up higher. And then over here in Trading Light, we have more of these whales trying to market make. So they're using their limit walls over here on Binance to try to suppress price, right? They're filling short orders. We do see after we make these highs and start changing structure bearish, these big sell walls are limited in once again. Very similar to yesterday, they get limited in looking like spoof walls, right? Where price falls off of them. But then afterwards, when price comes back up, they actually fill. As you can see right here in the footprint, this wall was certainly filled. This wall was not, so this could have been some sort of spoof. But definitely some whales trying to force down price, but this is not much resistance. Like we talked about in yesterday's video, if it's a true market maker, they will add to their walls and not let price come back up to retest it, potentially after this gets filled. So maybe they wait for this to get filled, and then they start adding walls to force down price. But just 400 Bitcoin alone as a sell wall isn't going to do much to price, right? If price wants to go through that, if it's truly bullish, that will absolutely get broken, and well, we just saw it get broken. Look at that. So price just cleared that sell wall like butter. So that's extremely bullish to see. Let's see if it is a swing failure pattern. If it's a true market maker, like I said, they're going to force price down after this and start adding to those walls. Would I like to see those over here on Bybit? open interest was coming up throughout this move. So this was not just a short squeeze. I have this golden pocket pulled, right? Swing high, swing low. That got flipped into support, right? Nice acceptance above and then back test of that 618. Extremely bullish sign to see. And this all happened after we had the long flush during the news event, which was really good as well. We don't have to take out longs anymore. We've swept the liquidity, right? We had all of these late longers in the market that were buying in on the uptrend. And we went ahead, swept that level during the Bitcoin conference, and now we potentially have clear skies to go to all-time highs now after closing out all of these longs with that open interest decrease across the board on our exchanges. And yeah, this move just looks real nice. We see continuation. So yeah, the chart's looking really good. I think the market's going to start pricing in Bitcoin being backed as a reserve asset. Bullish things happening on the charts right now. I think this could be your low. We still got a CME gap, but these don't have to fill 100% of the time. And even if it does get filled, it doesn't have to fill right now. This could be a target for after Bitcoin tops out and enters the bear market. But with this move, we have sank RSI quite a bit. We're probably going to start making those RSI bear divs, coming up into these higher levels. And I would still be cautious because the 70K region is where a ton of resistance is. We've been talking about this level for a couple of days now, and we are now within it. So we got a lot of resistance to get through. We want to see if this stuff can get confirmed as support. We have started to flip these supportive levels, right? All of these volume levels during this uptrend have been back tested very nicely. Let's see if we can have continuation of that. And I do believe if we can get that, we are going to magnet straight up into this topside liquidity from $75,000, $76,000 ish. And this is of course going to be the true test for Bitcoin. Can we get through this convincingly and just disappear from this range, or are we going to struggle and maybe make some sort of deviation back within the range, signaling an end to the bull market? And I gotta say, after listening to Trump speak, I now see the catalyst for them to send Bitcoin to six figures, and I still see retail buying the top, right? If we go to $200,000, $300,000, I think there's a lot of people that would still be FOMOing in at those prices because there is now a catalyst for believing that Bitcoin can go to millions of dollars. And I think that could potentially be the play. So I'm very open to the idea of us doing that. I've always said, even though my base case is a little bit more bearish than most, especially time-wise, I don't think we're going into 2025, and I still don't really think that. One of my cases is to go to $300,000 within the next couple of months, which I think even the bulls don't think is possible. So I do believe we could see a lot of disbelief in the market if some of this stuff does start getting priced in. So with this new narrative of a global reserve currency backed in Bitcoin, that massive price appreciation could happen very quickly because market participants like to price things in as fast as possible and distribute on retail that may believe that the 4-year cycle is still going to play out and we would go to multiple millions of dollars versus multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. But this is all very speculative. Let's let the price play out day by day and let the data tell us when the top is possibly going to be coming in. And so far the data suggests higher, so we can all celebrate for now, but let's stay critical. And if you do have any questions about anything I talked about or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also VIP Discord below that, mainly focused on leverage trading. So if you're struggling with that or want to learn more, click that link and you can read all about what type of value it offers. 50% off right now, only $20 a month. And then also linked down there, you will see a limited time event link with my exchange partner BingX. So if you want to go ahead and earn some awesome rewards such as deposit bonuses up to $7,300, don't miss that because there's only 4 days left in the event. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.